I had to call and talk about Man McGregor. Okay, so I think why people dislike McGregor is they know he's got a silver spoon in his mouth. The way the UFC's been promoting him, or the way they pushed him. I feel like that's 90% of it. Just the way he's been promoted, the way he's got avoided, like the key fighters coming up. The main event against Dennis Seaver that led him right into an interim title fight against Chad Mendes. That's just a golden path. You got a golden path the whole way up. And I don't blame Dana White for it because they know this dude's got a cash cow. He's got a lot of potential to sell tickets, but don't bullshit me. Don't lie to me. And I think the fanboys, they're like totally bought in. They think this dude's the best striker in the UFC. And like they really thought this dude was like the best fighter in the world. They couldn't see that he's got a golden path. He got carefully maneuvered throughout the cards, perfectly placed. I think that's why people are starting to turn on him. They see it now. What do you guys think?
First of all, are you a Conor McGregor fan?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So I was hoping that you were saying yes, because that would be something that I would like to hear. But that's okay.
Kevin gave him the nickname Con Man McGregor, which I'm surprised you haven't thought of, to be honest.
Well, he is a con man, that's for sure. I agree with a lot of things that you said, Kev. Here's another reason why I think that Conor McGregor has disrupted what this. Now, he has helped the UFC grow. As far as marketing, the man is a marketing machine. The guy knows how to market his product. No question that he does. His whiskey is what is it? Something 12. I don't drink.
I don't remember. I know
his whiskey's big. His promotion, notorious promotions. He signed Manny Pacquiao when he was trying to find Manny. The man knows how to promote himself. He knows how to sell himself. And you made some quality points. The UFC has always tried to bring him up, and he's always had a gold spoon in his mouth because Dana White needed somebody to really put the UFC and the brand on their shoulders and sell the brand, especially when the brand was completely falling apart, when GSP retired, when a lot of these big fighters were completely, John Jones getting arrested and driving intoxicated and sniffing cocaine. They were trying to find that superstar that was clean, not really getting in trouble. By the way, Conor McGregor was making deals with mafia guys, Irish mafia. People want to kill him. He beat up an old man in a bar over there in Ireland. That was the last, I think, the last fight that he actually probably won. I mean, the man is a complete, appalling, abusive piece of garbage. Okay? That's what he is. And for anybody to sit here and think that this man is a great champion, he's a great fighter, it's a ridiculous statement. Now, was he a great stand-up fighter at one point of his career? Yeah, he had some crazy knockouts. He knocked out Jose Aldo. It was the quickest knockout in UFC history. Great. Jose Aldo is not even a stand-up fighter.
I was going to say, I don't think you like him either.
No, I love Jose Aldo.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I just...
maybe it was Anthony then that didn't like him.
Jose Aldo wasn't healthy when he knocked him out. And honestly, Jose Aldo hasn't been the same fighter since he left the WEC. Okay, he has never been the same fighter. When he went to the UFC, he won a couple of fights. He won the championship. Who did he beat? Cub Swanson? I mean, seriously, that's the problem. That's the problem with the UFC. They take their champions and they put them against garbage. Dustin Poirier. Go look at who Dustin Poirier has beaten in the last 6 years. It's unbelievable. This guy has gone through some of the best fighters. Justin Gaethje. He fought Khabib. He lost against Khabib. The fights that he's lost against some of the best fighters in the world. And look at the fights that he's won. I mean, he beat Conor McGregor not once, but twice, back-to-back times. And if he fights Conor again, he'll beat him again. Conor McGregor doesn't deserve, Kevin. He doesn't deserve to fight in the UFC again. And this whole act of saying that he has fractures in his leg and the UFC knew it, if the UFC knew this, shame on them. But it is shameful that this man, over the last 2 weeks, knowing that he was fighting, would sit there, go, do all the press coverage, go to do the weigh-ins, never said anything about his ankle, never said anything about his tibia being that it was fractured. He never said anything. Now all of a sudden, because he lost the fight and he's getting smashed all over social media. Not from his fans. Oh, no. His fans are loving him. Oh, Conor, we know you're the champion. We know you're going to come back and beat Poirier. You don't have a chance, buddy. You don't stand a chance, okay? And then you're trying to bring Khabib back from retirement. You think Khabib is going to come out of retirement to beat you again? He's been there, done that. You're a loser, man. But the fact is that he's just trying to find excuses to try to put himself back up there on the leaderboard for the UFC to try to sell in a year to bring him back and try to put fannies in the seats. It's appalling, Kev.
Yeah, I've been saying Conor McGregor was overrated for years now. I forget how long. Just for years I've been saying, this dude, come on, stick him in there with an elite wrestler. Why are they giving him Dennis Seaver? They got to give him Chad Mendes on a week's notice. And then Jose Aldo, like you said, that wasn't the elite Jose Aldo we know. He was coming off a war with Chad Mendes, where he arguably lost, like one of the best fights of the year that year. It was just a complete war. This dude took so much damage throughout his career. He was coming off a long layoff, and they stick him in there with McGregor, and he gets caught in 10 seconds. They want to act like Conor McGregor
with a broken rib. With a broken rib, which, by the way, he didn't make any excuses from it. He didn't make any excuses. He brought it up, but he didn't make any excuses when he had a broken rib. Now, did you hear Manny Pacquiao when he fought Floyd Mayweather? And everybody knows that Manny Pacquiao wasn't 100% healthy when he fought Floyd Mayweather. He had I think he had a disc problem, a herniated disc or something like that. He shouldn't have fought Floyd Mayweather when he did, okay? But he did. He fought Floyd, and Floyd beat him. Did you see Manny Pacquiao complain, or it came out through the press that he had a herniated disc after the fact? You never heard it from Manny Pacquiao. He gave all the props to Floyd Mayweather. No, it wasn't a herniated disc. He broke something. He had a broken finger or broken wrist, and he fought Floyd Mayweather or something like that. But nevertheless, you didn't hear any complaints from Pacquiao's team or anything like that. It came through the press. He didn't say, oh, Floyd didn't deserve to win that fight. The fact is he's trying to find any excuse to try to take away what Dustin Poirier was doing to him. That's what was going on.
Looks like a shoulder injury.
It was a shoulder
injury.
Yeah, it was a torn rotator cuff. That's what it was. Okay. That's what it was, a torn rotator cuff. And he fought Floyd Mayweather, and he knew about the torn rotator cuff 2 weeks before the fight, and he still fought Floyd Mayweather because he knew that it was going to put fannies in the seats and he was going to make a lot of money, and that there was no way they were going to cancel a fight of that magnitude. Meanwhile, because they were never going to fight again, and they're never going to fight again. And by the way, Manny Pacquiao is still fighting for belts and stuff like that. And Floyd Mayweather was fighting these exhibition fights against Jake Paul or whatever his name is, John Paul or whatever the freak those guys' names is, and makes $100 million anyway, fighting a complete, utter ridiculous fight. So it's just ridiculous. And by the way, from anybody that was complimenting the Paul, what is the
Logan Paul?
Logan, that's who I'm talking about. Okay. When he fought Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
Anybody that thinks that Logan Paul deserves any credit for fighting 8 or 10 rounds against Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition fight. First of all, if anybody watched the fight in the 5th or 6th round, Floyd Mayweather knocked him out. He held him up, okay? Watch the fight, okay? The fact that anybody, Skip Bayless and Max Kellerman, saying that Logan Paul deserves all. First of all, Floyd Mayweather abused him in that fight. Floyd Mayweather hasn't fought a real fight in almost 2 years, okay?
Hold on. Tell me you didn't just say he knocked him out and held him up.
Oh, he did.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, go watch it. I have the clip. Go watch the clip.
I know the clip you're talking about.
Dude, he knocked him out. He was holding him up. He was holding him up, dude. He was holding him up. Go watch it. He caught him. He caught him with a right, and he was out. He held him up. Go watch it. Dude, I know boxing. I'm telling you right now.
Floyd isn't going to be able to hold him up.
Floyd is not. He was leaning. He was leaning on Floyd. Go watch it. Go watch it, dude. I'm telling you.
Right.
What are you, a Logan? Tell me you're a Logan Paul fan. Tell me you're a Logan Paul fan.
No, but I know I'm not a Floyd fan, and he certainly didn't knock him out.
Oh, he did, dude. He absolutely did.
He can't knock anybody out. That dude's got a
really
fist.
If Floyd Mayweather's had 50 fights, he has over 20 knockouts. That's not true.
Not later in his career. Those were mostly in the beginning of his career.
But Floyd Mayweather was a power puncher he became a counter puncher and a defensive fighter later in his career, in the middle of part of his career when he was in his 30s. He became the most defensive counter puncher we've ever seen. And that's the dominance of Floyd Mayweather. It wasn't the power punching. You're not going to – everybody knows boxing is all about finesse, technique, okay? Everybody knows that. And Floyd Mayweather was the king of counterpunching and the technique. He's the only one that's beaten Canelo Alvarez, supposedly. I beg to differ. Triple G beat him both fights.
I was going to say, or did you say Canelo Alvarez cheated or something?
Yeah, well, Triple G beat him both those fights. But on record, the only person that's beat Canelo Alvarez is Floyd Mayweather. He completely destroyed. There was no way anybody or any of the judges were going to give Canelo Alvarez that fight when Floyd was absolutely dominating that fight. Okay? And Canelo makes that excuse still to this day that he was too young to understand. Are you kidding me? You were 24 years old when you lost that fight against Floyd Mayweather. You're not young. You're in the mid-prime of your career as a boxer. Okay? Your prime of your career as a boxer is from the age of 23 to 34. That is your prime. Okay? That is your prime of your career. Don't tell me that you were too young to understand. Get the hell out of here. Why don't you talk your Spanish or whatever the hell you talk and stop cheating and eating that beef that you claim that's why you had steroids in you. He claims when they found all that steroids in him that he was eating beef from a truck. Okay, the amount of steroids that they found on his body could have friggin' filled a horse. Okay, how the hell did they get that from a steak? Okay?
Yeah,
ridiculous.
There'd have to be some kind of weird, complicated case for that to be true.
Embarrassing. And absolutely embarrassing. I mean, he's another joke. And by the way, if Jake Paul even thinks that he's going to fight Canelo Alvarez in 3 years, what a joke. I mean, if Canelo ever fights him, Canelo will kill him. Okay, it's just it's ridiculous. These Paul boys, they're making millions and millions of dollars for idiots that are going to buy. And by the way, my friend Eric Martinez says, "Oh, he's got legitimate power." Give me a break. Legitimate power? What? Because he throws haymakers? Yeah, he outweighs every single fighter that he fights by 30 pounds. I mean, Logan Paul outweighed Floyd Mayweather by 50 pounds. I mean, and Floyd kicked his ass.
Hold on. When it comes to Jake, though, you got to realize he's only had 3 fights. 3 fights. You look at some of these guys, they got they fight 20 bums. Like Canelo Alvarez, you couldn't name his first 20 fighters. So for him to go in there in this 4th fight against Tyron Woodley, a UFC champion with legit knockout power, explosive athlete.
Legit knockout power? Tyron Woodley fights like a girl, okay? He fights like a girl. He is a girl. And yes, he's got power. He's not a boxer. I don't want to hear he fought at Buddy McGirt's gym. I know Buddy. He's from Brentwood, Long Island. I fought at his gym. Okay? I don't want to hear from Tyron Woodley. He fought out of Buddy McGirt since 2008 or 2000. I don't want to hear it. Okay? This guy is not a boxer. He's an all-American wrestler. That's what he is. Tyron Woodley is a great wrestler. Yes, he's a 5-time champion. He's one of the greatest welterweights in UFC history. No question that he deserves all the credit. He wasn't a great stand-up fighter. Tyron Woodley is the best fighter Jake Paul's ever fought. Who is Jake Paul beating? Don't tell me Nate. What's his name again?
Nate the Great. Come on.
Nate from the
Robinson.
Nate Robinson. I'm sorry, I forgot his last name. Nate Robinson for the Knicks.
I forgot about that.
Who's never boxed in his life. Okay, and then he fights a wrestler that's one of the worst MMA stand-up fighters of all time in Eskrev. Okay, there's no way. Okay, and yes, Tyron Woodley is going to give him probably the hardest challenge he's ever had. I want to see Jake Paul fight a real boxer that weighs the same amount as him. And if he can stand with him and beat and knock out a real boxer, then we can talk. Let him fight an Andre Ward. Let him fight somebody like that who would punish him, would absolutely bury him and put on a clinic for Jake Paul. And then everybody says, well, he's never fought anybody. Dude, you and your brother hasn't won a fight in a boxing ring. He's fought, 2-3 fights? He's beat nobody. And he's made millions and millions of dollars because people want to see him fight. And then they give him all the credit in the world because he fought Floyd Mayweather and he stood there for 10 rounds. Floyd let him stand there for 10 rounds. Floyd just wanted to put on a show. He wanted to make his $100 million, and he wanted to get out of the ring. It was an embarrassment. This crap that the Paul brothers are doing, how could anybody, any thought of boxing could enjoy some garbage like that? And this Woodley fight, this is all it is a sell for stupid fans to go out and buy a pay-per-view and put $50 million in Jake Paul's pocket.